The concluding postures of our sequence are more traditional than are often seen in yoga classes. We're bringing back postures that are the place we would end in order to sit for some time and meditate. And the ancient yogis would use these postures as a way to challenge the mind as they were seated. What we do with these postures is begin to compress hips and knees and even ankles, which ultimately, from a modern scientific perspective, really helps us with our own joint mobility. So we'll start with kind of the most basic version of the cross-legged seat, which is often referred to as an easy seat, where the ankles can cross one under the other. And we can use a block in this position in order to elevate the hips and give you more access to the knees and the ankles and keeping the spine as in its natural long, low back curve position. If you've got this comfortably, then you can try removing the block and bring your bum to the floor, which again takes the angle out and therefore can make the access to the hip compression a little more challenging. Staying here in this kind of an easy seat is your next step. Then from here we start to move into the more challenging, crossing the ankles up into the crease of the hips. The first version is what we call a half lotus pose, where one foot comes up into the crease of the hip and the other foot crosses underneath. Now be sure to practice this on both sides as you work your seat and your practice. Once you've got that and reasonably comfortably on both sides, then you can try to move into full lotus. Full lotus pose brings both feet up and around into the crease of the hips, and ultimately creates a compression and even a bind. And you'll see that in some very advanced yoga practices, the feet are crossed in this position even as we go upside down and do all kinds of other interesting things with the body. So being able to do this in a seat will give you access to doing it in other ways.